Hi, Gary Galka speaking. I thought I would give this environment in my garage a try as I review a video that I took, well, it was last Thursday, I believe. It was Cindy's birthday. And during that event, we were just sitting around having our morning coffee. And I'm thinking, why not take a chance and see if we can connect with Melissa? There's no guarantees when I do that. I want you all to understand that it's very random and very unpredictable. When it does happen, you feel elated. You feel that euphoric feeling of peace and harmony and love, and all those things combined help you feel a sense of well-being. And well, anyways, to make a long story short, I didn't hear from Melissa, but I did have one heck of a session during the time that the SB7 Pro was in operation. So what I'd like to try to do today for all of you is play the actual session and then describe to you what is taking place. So this is something new. I want to try it in order to be able to convey some of the actual comments from spirits to those of you who may not be able to hear as clearly as others, but also for those of you who may doubt some of the things that are actually happening in the video. I do believe that when I did this session, the SB7 Pro was in FM, the antenna was out, the antenna was active, I was sweeping forward, I was using a 40 kilohertz sweep step, and I was sweeping at around 90 milliseconds. That's the configuration I used. All sensors were off. And in the beginning, what you're going to hear is, I was kind of hoping that she would come in between the frequencies like she did in a previous video that I posted, her and the rest of my family. But after a minute or so of not getting much there, I just flipped on the sweep, and the rest is for you to listen to. So, all set, here we go. Okay, let's stop right there. So in the beginning, you heard a bunch of static. That was me trying to find a weakened channel. I was in a talk radio. I was trying to find that in-between frequency that would allow them to manipulate, distort, and warp those frequencies to insert their comments and speech. It didn't happen, so I moved on quickly to the sweep. But did you hear what first came through? As soon as I started the sweep, listen to this again. Did everyone hear that? The spirit, a male spirit, says to me, waiting for Melissa? Question he's asking me. Here it is again, listen. Waiting for Melissa? I don't even think the SB7 Pro was operating for more than a second, and that came through instantly. Now, I also want to point out that throughout this entire 8-minute clip, which might take 15 minutes after I go through all this stuff, but when I go through this, there's a lot of low-level stuff. And if I wanted to zoom in on it, I could, but I'm going to ignore those, even though I can hear them. I want to play just the relevant things that are important. I'm going to use my time wisely and help you with this. So let's play this one more time, then we're going to move on. Waiting for Melissa. Something else I want to point out here is with some of the responses, I amplified them a little bit in iMovie, and I may have slowed them down just a pinch. so that you could hear them more clearly. So again, things that I hear or others who are tuned and proficient in Spirit Sweep ITC sessions can hear these things more clearly than those of you who are new or who are just starting to understand and learn about it. So here we go. While I am doing this, I'm holding the SB7 Pro in my hand, I'm rotating it, I'm looking at the front of it, I'm sitting in a chair having a cup of coffee. Cindy's to my right, and we're just casually, chit-chatting. And it wasn't really a serious session, but the responses were really well appreciated, and many of them showed concern for the connection and wanted to help out. Okay, how many of you heard that? Let's play it again. This is kind of cool. But keep in mind, Cindy's birthday. There's a happy birthday in melody from a song that they distorted. Now listen to this. Happy birthday. Spirit comes through and says happy birthday to Cindy.
Happy birthday.
All right, so right away I picked up on the relevance of that was important because during my session there are some key things that I'm looking for. One is there are key words and phrases that my family would speak to me, which I'm very familiar with. And clearly it's Cindy's birthday, so in this respect, I'm looking for something about her birthday. So this spirit was kind enough in wishing Cindy a happy birthday. So let's continue on. And I recognized that, and I responded to it. So this is a little bit different. I'm trying to connect, and a female comes through. Keep in mind, I'm trying to connect with my family or Melissa. This female comes through and says, if you really want to, you'll be able to. So what she's saying to me is, if you really want to connect with your family, you'll be able to. It takes a lot of patience. And I think this session was only like 8 minutes. I was drinking coffee, I was having a donut. So, I just gave it a few minutes. It wasn't something I was taking super seriously. Hold on. All right, let's continue.
Happy birthday. That's for Mommy.
So I'm responding back to the initial happy birthday, and I'm acknowledging that in this little comment they made. I said that happy birthday was for Mommy, and I'm waiting for Melissa to come through.
It's your happy birthday. That's for Mommy.
And we're going to continue on. Okay. A spirit, a woman comes through, and what she says to me right away is, and this is really nice of her to say this. Good morning.
Good morning.
And I respond back and I say good morning to her.
Good morning.
Let's continue on. Cindy's talking in the background. We're acknowledging that in the background. Nala, our dog, is sitting in front of me begging for donuts. You know how it goes with Labradors and food. So here we go. Now, this might be a little bit loud. I may have to adjust the volume. Let's back up a little bit. Okay, so the Spirit is telling me, stay focused. The spirits know that when I'm in a particular zone, the clarity and deciphering of information through my consciousness works a lot better. But when I'm distracted, as I am right now, with the dog sitting in front of me, Cindy and I are just having casual conversation. There's a lot going on in the space that you can't see. But so the Spirit says, stay focused. And the reason he's suggesting that is because if Melissa or somebody does come through, he wants to make sure that I hear it. Let's play that one more time. Stay focused. Let's move on. Okay, now what happens next is absolutely amazing. Using the sweep technique, you have to understand the advantages of the SB7 Pro. You know, I've been taught these things through connections, through spirits and everything else. These aren't just me creating a product on a whim. The stuff that I've been told, the things that I've learned through using Radio X, which many of you have seen on Ghost Adventures, I've taken a lot of those features and the functionality, and I put them into the SB7 Pro specifically to enhance and enable better speech patterns by breaking up the frequencies into tiny steps. By doing so, by fragmenting those frequencies, each little tidbit, frequency partition, can be manipulated easier. That's what I've been taught and told by Spirit. Now, what's coming up next is a pretty cool thing. Let's see what this one is. Okay, that Spirit is just saying that this is good. So what he's saying to me is, you know, the way that this sweep is working, things are in line for him, this is good. So let's play it one more time. This is good. Here we go. Okay, this is a little bit tough, but I'm going to adjust the volume a little bit so you might be able to hear it better. Listen carefully. What he's saying is, how do you even know that they can talk to you? So let's do it one more time. All right, and I can tell the ethnicity of the individual speaking. I can tell that he's middle-aged. Things in my mind kind of like form imagery of who I'm hearing from. But let's continue on. I hope some of you heard that. Here we go. All right, so this Spirit comes through and he says, I'm worried. And then the next spirit that comes through I can't make that one out, I'll be honest with you. So let's continue on. The problem with many of the responses, a lot of them are clustered together. If I was to play this in real time to you, they would merge together in your minds and you'd never be able to separate them out. So this is one of the reasons why I kind of like this technique a little bit. One of the things I've noticed about spirits is a lot of them are in the background. They love to observe, but they're afraid to come forward. So when you have a situation and they begin to talk to you, it's really an unusual circumstance. It's welcomed when it does happen. Many of you go through the process and you're not hearing anything, but in reality, all these things are happening, you just don't hear it. It takes so much training, you know. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years, listening to this stuff. So you can just imagine how much change occurs within my mind and the thought processing that occurs when I hear these voices. It's pretty intense. Let's continue on. By the way, those are all spirits talking in the background. I'm just not focused in on it. Let's back up a little bit right here. heard something that I missed. Wow. Okay, did anybody just hear that? So I missed that originally. The Spirit said, how's Cindy? That's my wife. So listen to this right here. Coming up. How's Cindy? All right. So I missed that one, but let's continue on. So far we have a happy birthday for Cindy. We have, are you waiting for Melissa? That was the first thing, like 1 second in after starting the sweep. We've got them asking how she is. All kinds of stuff going on. You know, spirits are questioning me. Even the one that said, how do you even know that they'll even talk to you? That's not someone that's familiar with me. So that might be a new spirit who's stepping in, and he just wants to understand, wait a minute, how can you know that you could even talk to them? So let's continue on. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here, save a little time.
I agree. Happy birthday before the invitation, but it was a guy.
By the way, I'm talking to Cindy. She had just walked in with something, and so I'm just filling her in a little bit, getting her caught up on where we are. I'm talking about the donuts, whether they were warmed up or not in the microwave. And carry on here. All right, this is kind of cool. So this is a spirit, and he says to me, he wants to know. Listen, here we go. Are you cruising people? Now, I've never heard that phrase from a spirit before. In fact, there's some things in this video that I've never heard anywhere. Okay, so with all the times I've done these things, it never ceases to amaze me. Spirits will come up with something new instead of the old standby, you know, I'm dead, which, by the way, there's plenty of those in here, but they're crystal clear. He says, are you cruising people? He didn't say, are you cruising spirits? He's referring to those in this environment, in the spirit world, as people. Well, they're spiritual beings. They are people. They're just in spirit form. So is he really just identifying himself as he's always done so? You know, they're just people with minds of their own. Each have different types of personalities. Remember, some are good, some are bad. They're just people. Okay, now, so this spirit brings up Nala.
Heard somebody say hi, Nala.
Keep in mind now, I'm looking for keywords that relate to me, Cindy, the dog, anything.
That's Nala. Yeah.
He goes, there's Nala, and I'm like, yeah, that's Nala.
Heard somebody say hi, Nala.
All right, now listen to this. This spirit just comes out of the blue, and he says, 'cause I'm dead. It's pretty clear. Listen. 'Cause I'm dead. You can hear that echoing in the garage. Very clear, 'cause I'm dead. Let's keep going.
I know he's dead. But you still said hi to Nala. I appreciate it.
That's just me acknowledging some things to him, and, you know, just the usual types of comments that you would hear from a spirit. A lot of them, again, don't realize that I know what I know, and so they're just letting me know that they're not radio bits, and they'll make it a point to say that, you know, 'cause I'm dead or whatever. Now, this is kind of cool. This spirit says, Nala's not your dog. Listen to this. Nala's not your dog. Again, this is with the SB7 Pro with 40 kilohertz sweep step. I want to point out 40 kilohertz. What does that mean to you? It means that when you use a regular spirit box, it sweeps in 100 kilohertz steps. Now, with 40 kilohertz, you're doing then, so you're taking 2.5 steps before you get to the position of a regular spirit box. So I'm looking in between that 100 kilohertz step with a standard radio, and nobody else is doing what I'm doing. I'm taking 2.5 more steps in between. That's why I'm able to get a full sentence. You know, as much as I preach that, and as much as I tell people the things that I know, I still get resistance from people, whatever the case may be. I like to say that it works great. It's up to the person. So here we go. Nala's not your dog? It's a question mark.
It is my dog.
And I responded to that. So I'm like, no, Nala's my dog. So here I am in the middle of this sweep session. And again, I'm looking for key words that relate to the purpose of this session. There are things in my mind that have been programmed. If I don't hear things connected with that, I'm allowing much of the session to slip through. And many of these things were picked up later on. So let's go through it some more.
It's
Now, the spirit goes, then it would be. So the spirit says, Nala's not your dog. And I say,
it is my dog.
It is my dog, Nala. And then the spirit goes, then it would be. Yeah, it would be my dog. Correct. So I'm actually having a conversation with 2 other spirits in addition to talking about Nala, who is sitting in front of me. So that is 3 references to the dog in the past couple of minutes. I'm gonna
Can you see her?
So I'm asking, can you see Nala? And the spirit does say, yeah, we do, but it's suppressed. I'm not gonna back up. So let's jump ahead.
Where are you, family? Today's Mommy's birthday, honey. You know that.
That's just me commenting. I'm like, hey family, where are you? You know, and I'm again saying it's Mommy's birthday. What's going on, Mel? Where are you? So this spirit, as I mentioned, Mommy's birthday, this spirit steps forward and she goes, my mom's dead. One more time. That's pretty clear. Okay, this is interesting. Listen to this. All right, what this spirit is saying to me is, I feel so weird or something. It must be perhaps the way that the transition they're going through or where they are. Are they in a death zone that they're unfamiliar with and they're just coming forward to me because they know I can hear? One more time. Cindy's talking in the background. This is very interesting. Now, out of the blue, and I just rotated the SB7 Pro. 1 minute I had the back where the speaker is, then I rotated it around to the display. The spirit is saying to me, I'm dying right now. And Cindy and I heard that, and I acknowledged that, and started thinking, what is this spirit going through? Is he in the process of losing his physical life and transitioning to spirit? Or is he going through a death zone process where he's being evaluated before he can move to the next level? I have no idea, but this was very peculiar. Listen again. I'm dying right now. One more time.
I heard that. I'm hearing a lot of stuff, but I'm not responding to it.
So, right now I heard that, I acknowledged it, but I'm trying to tell spirits that I'm hearing a lot of them, but I'm not acknowledging it because I'm very specifically focused, as that spirit told me to be.
I'm hearing a lot of stuff, but I'm not responding to it. Looking for something very specific. That's my wife.
All right, this is cool. Listen to this.
Specific.
So I'm looking for something very specific, and I'm not focused on anything but those things that matter to me. So a woman comes forward, she says, "Is this your wife?" And I'm like, okay, that's kind of relevant to me.
That's my wife.
I acknowledge, I said, yes, that's my wife. And the spirit says, I know. I know.
It's her birthday.
All right, so let me just sweep ahead a little bit here. I want to make sure that I have all the things that are really important. Let me keep going. Okay, so I wanted to give you a general consensus of all the things that I heard. There's so much going on in this audio that, again, while I didn't have success reaching out to Melissa in this attempt, I want to remind everyone that it's a very random thing. There's no guarantees that you're going to reach out and hear from your loved ones when you want to. But you have to remember they do visit from time to time, and it's a timing issue. You have to be able to time it just right. So take it for what it's worth. Don't get discouraged or disappointed. Always maintain a positive attitude about that. I talk to my loved ones as if they're in the room every day at some point in time. They deserve that. Knowing what I know that there are times when they can hear me, and I want them to enjoy the fact that we maintain a connection with them. They're out of sight, but they're never out of mind. So we'll leave that at that. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you today. There's some great stuff in this little session that I did. It was very casual. Again, I wasn't taking anything seriously. It's very common for me to be able to do that. I can turn it on in a heartbeat. There are things there that start to come through. Let's close with that, and I hope everybody enjoyed this new technique that I just used. Hopefully you heard things a little more clearly. Have a great day.